Are you into crime dramas or real-life murder mysteries? Have you checked out Murder Mountain on Netflix? Murder Mountain is a real-life murder mystery that takes place in Humboldt County in Northern California. Now that is really right up the way from where I live. I live in Northern California also. And so it's not right down the road or right up the road. I mean, it's several hours away. But I've been there. I mean, I've vacationed there. It's beautiful land and it's beautiful country. And it's crazy that there is a place that all the locals reference as Murder Mountain. Now, if you know anything about Humboldt County, you know that it is one of the pot capitals of the world, or at least of the US, because they grow a ton of marijuana up there. The story of Murder Mountain really surrounds the disappearance of a young man who was a grower or a farmer who then traveled up to do his harvest and he disappeared. And the documentary follows the search for all of the answers. And I love the documentary because it gives us great insight into how Humboldt County became the pot capital that it is right now. That it didn't just happen overnight, that it started with this group of hippies, or these, well, not really even hippies, I mean just these people who wanted to change the way they were living, and they wanted to live off the grid, and they wanted to be self-sustaining. And so it's really cool to see how it moves from there, and now even into modern day, where these people want to still be self-sustaining, and they want to be off the grid, but in a whole different way. Something interesting to watch is how the mountain culture thrives and lives, especially because pot is now legalized in California. So it's not illegal for these people to be growing it, and then even for them to be distributing. The problem is, though, that they have to follow all of these regulations and these guidelines, and some of them don't want to do that because it costs a lot of money. And so you have these outlaws who, then that's how they refer to themselves. They're not criminals, they're outlaws. They're just living outside of the law. And how they have to navigate. And then you also see the struggle of the people who are living inside the law, following all the regulations and trying to make it go. One of the scary things, though, is how they protect their land and their property and their crops. Because, I mean, it's like a compound on some of these places where all of a sudden you step over the line and you are descended upon by people with guns and automatic weapons and ATVs and off-road vehicles, and they're all masked up and you can't tell who they are, but you better have an explanation or you need to leave. And that also doesn't matter if you're the police or not. The story is great as you get more and more insight into how the community itself works and how they police their own in a certain way, and then how they worked to solve the mystery of this guy who had gone missing. And now he's not the first one. I mean, it's called Murder Mountain for a reason. It's not because one dude just disappeared. It's because a lot of people disappear when they go up there, and you just see all of these abandoned cars, and just they're burned out or they've been there for a long time. I mean, there was a school bus, I think, at one point that was abandoned. I don't even know how that happens, but overall the series is just really engaging and really intriguing, especially if you're into these real life crime dramas. There is no sex, but there is some nudity, a lot of profanity, and some violence, or at least reenactments of violence. I give Murder Mountain 4.5 out of 5 couches. So do you partake in any recreational smoking or other substances? I'm not sure you want to out yourself in the comments, but if you do, cool, whatever. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.